Folks, anything that is happening in current events today that are taking place as they relate to Bible prophecy of end times is something that I study and I get into a lot of detail. Hopefully this video is going to be helpful because these events that are taking place now today are truly related to Bible prophecy of end times. So let's get right into it, and that is what's happening within Syria. Now, I want to make this video today because on Sunday's video, I want to go back to where we were, and we're going to talk more about the ceasefire, possible ceasefire within the Gaza Strip, and this pertaining to Hamas. And we're also going to talk some more about Hezbollah and what's happening up north in Lebanon. But that's on Sunday. So I want this understanding and hopes to further your studies here so you know what's going on. I'm going to do what I can to make it simple. I want to apologize ahead of time for my inability to be able to pronounce names and words properly, but I'm going to get close. And so you're going to be able to see what's to understand. Again, Syria. What's going on in Syria? Let's understand. What, folks, I was going to give you a picture here, and I'm going to show you here in a minute. If you remember back during the Obama administration, Syria was being greatly attacked by what is called ISIS. Back then, ISIS, an Islamic State in Syria. So you understand that what they were doing is they were trying to take over and make an Islamic State in and out of Syria. And Bashar al-Assad, the leader of Syria, was about ready to be overthrown. Obama said that America's not going to get involved, not unless there were chemical weapons to be verified, to be found in Syria that Bashar al-Assad was using. Well, guess what? It was verified. Obama didn't know what to do. He was totally lost because he had promised America and other countries that America would get involved with the ISIS war if chemicals were found. Well, Obama still didn't have the backbone to be able to do something, and he didn't want to. Russia took advantage of that, and Russia said, hey, Obama, we'll verify the chemical removal from Syria for you. And Obama says, balls in your court, take it and run, Russia. Russia said, hey, Syria, do you want us to help you out with that ISIS thing? And they'd already started, but Syria, yeah. Okay. Syria's leader, Assad, he's losing grip. He's losing control. So he gave permission for Russia to come into Syria, build their army bases in there, Russia's, and to help secure Syria or Assad's control. Well, Iran says, oh, wait a minute, hold it. Let us send our troops also in there, Syria, and our troops from Iran will help you to secure your leadership in Syria. And Assad agreed to it. So Bashar al-Assad agreed to Russia to move in to help out with this ISIS problem, Taliban, Afghanistan, warriors, etc. And so did Iran. So they moved in. Well, Hezbollah said, hey, we can help out if you want to support us, Iran. Iran says, yeah, get in here and give us a hand. We'll give you money. We'll give you armament. We'll give you whatever you need. Let's fight this ISIS. Now, ISIS then was defeated and pushed back up into a place called Idlib, which is mostly northern Syria, and basically surrendered to defeated. They were still there, and they left a remnant of them, but for all practical purposes, ISIS was defeated, and then now Bashar al-Assad's got this problem with Russia and Iran in Syria. Oh, tactical move, to be honest with you, because really and seriously, if one country is to take land from another country, it only is to strengthen them militarily. All right. Let's get into what's going on today. Here it comes. We have groups from this ISIS, but they're not the same. And I'm going to explain that in a minute. And what they did is they built forces in Syria, saw Syria's weakness, and took advantage of it. And so they moved into Aleppo, the town of Aleppo within Syria, and they're taking control. the goal is that they have an Islamic state, and this movement is of the Sunni Arabs, not the Shiite. Shiites in greater numbers are firm believers in Islam to the nth degree, to the full control, the Quran believing it to the word. You have the Sunni, and if they're Islamic, they don't agree as much. They think that's way too powerful, way too strong, and so they're at odds. So Sunni and Shiite do not get along. This movement here is then the Sunni. So you understand there's still a discrepancy in here. There's still a problem between the two Arab fractions. They're fractioned here. But yet this one said, we're going to get into, underneath the weakness of Bashar al-Assad, take over Syria. And that's what they're attempting to do. They want an Islamic state within Syria. And Bashar al-Assad is weak. Now, Russia's got to figure, okay, how can we help out here? We already have our hands full in Ukraine. And remember what Israel said before. Israel said, hey, Israel or Syria, you stay out of the war because our war is with Iran and its militias, its groups. It's not with you. But Syria took a side with Iran. So Syria became a target of Israel's also. And also Syria started helping and assisting, not that they really had a choice, to be able to supply Hezbollah. They went on continuing to supply Hezbollah. And that's how Hezbollah became experienced and so strong in battle. So having the ability to be able to move weapons freely through Syria, from Iraq, from Iran, into Lebanon, Hezbollah fortified themselves in Lebanon. Experienced warriors. If you're starting to get the picture here, this has all been going on for a long time, and Iran has used Syria to be able to fortify Hezbollah, to build them up, to give them experience, and then to plant them in Lebanon in a future offensive against Israel. Russia doesn't know exactly what to do because it doesn't know how much power that it can actually give Assad at this particular point. Those that are, okay, let's get into who this is. I've got a little piece of paper here in front of me that, again, you're going to have to forgive me for my pronunciations, but you're going to be able to easily recognize them as time goes on here. Here, let me get to it. Okay, if we can read this. This is Abu Muhammad al-Awlani. Again, I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong. Is the leader of the Islamic, it's a Hayat Tahrir al-Sham, and it's commonly known as HTS group, which swept into Aleppo last week and a huge blow to the Syrian president. Okay, we come down here, the Israel rebel fighters led by, again, this is that movement, the HTS, launched a major counteroffensive a few days ago. The insurgents took control of country's second largest city, Aleppo. Okay, then we come down here, Aleppo, however you want to pronounce that. Rebel fighters went on, and this is more recent, to move into various towns, including Hammam. Okay, so now we come down here, so we understand who this is. This leader right here, Abu Muhammad al-Awlani, however you say that, I'm not really sure, has emerged out of the Al-Qaeda affiliate. So you remember, they talked a lot about Nasra. So you have becoming a intimidating force against Syrian President Bashar al-Assad under the leadership of Abu Muhammad, this is that guy again, HTS, but disassociated with Al-Qaeda in 2016 and merged with other groups to form its current structure. Now, let's just touch on that subject real quick here. The Muslim Brotherhood, that's what this is part of. It's an offshoot and a take from the Muslim Brotherhood. They aren't as strongly believing in Sharia law as the Islamic movement of those in the Shiites. which is Iran. Muslim Brotherhood, an offshoot from them. They want their own state. Muslim Brotherhood, where does that ring a bell? Egypt. Remember, Egypt was overthrown by the Muslim Brotherhood for a short period of time until it was control was regained by the I can't think of his name right now. It's not coming to me, folks. The leader right now of Egypt. He took back control. Muslim Brotherhoods are the ones that are still in Egypt that are trying to help Hamas. And that's why the Philadelphia corridor that was blocked off by Israel was so important, because you see, it's that offshoot of Islam that was attempting to try to help Hamas in Gaza Strip. Are you getting the bigger picture? Is this starting to come together now? Israel has another serious problem, and this is coming to light. All right, let's go back here again. Let's do this. I wish I had better maps, folks. You can't just illegally go copy stuff, and I found this one, and it didn't seem to have any problem with me doing it. Let's see if this is in focus enough, because it's not such a good map, but it's going to show you right now where this stuff is coming from. Here, down here, this is Israel right here, if you can see it. Lebanon, of course, right here, and then Syria right here, and here is Damascus right here. Now, if you just come right down here, you're going to see this is the Golan Heights. This area was won by Israel in 1967. It's disputed by many nations today as telling Israel sooner or later you're going to have to give that back to Syria. And Israel said, no, we're not. So that's a big argument there. But there's the Golan Heights right there. So you can see which borders, again, right here, Lebanon. And right here in this border is where the problems were with the refugees moving back into their homes again. Because easily those in Lebanon, which was Hezbollah, could attack in those and take hostages. And that's why Israel had to move them all out of that area, which this is Lebanon, where it borders Israel, which is the Golan Heights. Just to give you a reference, Damascus from the Golan Heights is approximately 60 miles. It's not that far away. Right here where I made this little circle is where the action is taking place right now with this other Islamic movement. This want to be taking over Syria. Bashar al-Assad, folks, he's run out of power. His military are literally laying their guns down and saying, here, take over. Islamic movement, come on in, take over. And that's what's happening right now. Okay, folks, all right, that's enough. Believe me, this gets much more into detail if you really wanted to. I tried to give you the most simplest understanding that I could come up with in an effort to be able to connect this to Bible prophecy of end times. This event in its own self. What does Isaiah 17 say? It says that Damascus will become a ruinous heap. And it just happens that it doesn't say who does what or when. That's curious, folks. Because if you go to Jeremiah 49 and you read that, it doesn't say who's going to attack who and when. Think about that for a moment. There's a movement by God through scriptures that says God is going to interact. He's going to intervene. He's in a divine way that he's going to go in and take care of Israel's surrounding enemies. Psalms 83. He's going to remove those. But did you notice it doesn't say who's going to war against who or when it's going to happen? What do those three Bible prophecies have in common? When are they going to happen? But God yet explained to us of an action, Psalms 83, that he is going to do when Israel seems to be surrounded by enemies that want to annihilate them. And then you read in Isaiah 17 where Damascus becomes a ruinous heap overnight. Go to Zechariah 12. God's action in one day. In one day. There's your link, my friends. I hope this study was helpful. But all of this is happening for a reason. It's events that are seen in Bible prophecy if you're a studier, and I hope that I've broadened your horizon in being able to put this all together is not to be alarmed, but to know how much closer we are getting to that time that we don't know when. We don't know the hour. We don't know the day. But God's going to intervene in a divine way. And when he does, I believe Damascus will be part of that. And that is clearing the surrounding enemies, which is this newfound movement of terrorism that's taking hold in Syria. All right, folks, I hope this was helpful. On Sunday, I want to go further into understanding the ceasefire and how this is going to unfold. Again, I'm going to use events, I'm going to use scripture and put the two together is to further our study, getting us closer to understanding when our Heavenly Father is going to intervene. Very important time, folks. Until Sunday, okay, I hope this was helpful.